All right, everyone. Thank you and welcome back to another episode of Title Talk. This is Rich Barbara here at Gables, Title and Escrow, and today I have the pleasure of being with my esteemed CFO, Bradley Barreto, and at the request of our producer, the great, the incomparable Sebastian Rusk of Social Buzz TV, he's asked that we change things around today. We turn the tables. Hand the mic over to Brad, and they, Brad wants to interview me. I can't imagine why, but that's what we're doing today. So, Brad, it's good to have you, buddy. Yeah,
glad to be here. Looking forward to it. So, tell us, Rich, what is your history? Growing up here in Miami.
It's an interesting one. No, I'm kidding. I was born and raised in Miami, first generation, children of Cuban immigrants. I went to public school all my life, and I got kicked out of public high school. So I got a GED, a slightly deviant phase. Before I lucked out and I met, who was going to end up being my wife, a girl named Cindy. I realized pretty quickly that if I didn't get organized, if I didn't have my ducks in a row, my stock would plummet. She'd quickly find someone, that had their stuff in gear, if you will. And I worked hard to get into school. I went to FIU. I enjoyed my time at FIU. I was a Greek. I was a Pike at FIU, and then I went to law school. And then I wanted to be a trial lawyer. I thought I'd be in trial all the time. And before I left there, I was getting interviewed by a guy who was the assistant state attorney. He had offered me a job, a guy named Bruce Bartlett, great guy. And I said, Mr. Bartlett, I can't accept, my girlfriend wants to go home, be with the family, and so I can't accept. He said, Rich, I'll tell you what's going to happen to you. You're going to go get a job at a big firm. You're never going to try cases in your life, and you're just going to be a civil lawyer. You probably make a lot of money, but you won't see the courthouse a whole lot. And I was like, wow, thanks. I didn't want to hear that at the time, but he knew better than I did. He ended up being right. I started my career at a big firm named Cole, Scott & Cassane, I'm proud to say. It's an excellent firm with excellent lawyers. One of the largest, maybe even the largest Florida-based defense firm. So I did some civil litigation defense there for a little while, and then opened my own shop, a firm called Alvarez. Well, it had a few names, but ultimately it was Alvarez and Barbara for a long time. And then met your dad. Things went well for me in that regard. Been representing the Barreto clan for some years now, and finally came over last year. We started up our business, which I'm very proud of. Gables, Title and Escrow. Brad's my partner, and so is his dad Rodney. And so we do some real estate.
Okay. And
I have a baby girl. Right? I forgot to mention that. I have a baby girl named Evie. She runs the show.
And she has a new obsession, just like you.
Star Wars.
It's
unbelievable. My daughter loves Star Wars. Yeah, I couldn't have made it up.
Yeah. Where did you develop that obsession?
That's a great question. My brother George, I have three older brothers. The youngest of the oldest is a guy named George. And George was a Star Wars fan, is a Star Wars fan, and he had in his room had one of those old bedroom sets that had like a headboard that was also like a countertop, and you had some drawers. And standing up on that countertop, he had a bunch of the original Kenner Star Wars, figures, the toys. But I remember that he had them lined up so perfect, like they were always in a perfect line. They had all their weapons. And just the way they looked fascinated me. And then I realized that it was from this movie, Star Wars, which I then watched and loved. And I'd always try to get into his room and play with those toys, which would, of course, get my ass kicked every time. He didn't like that. My brother George didn't like that. His room was off limits, particularly to his bratty little brother, who was a lot younger. But that was it. Just seeing those little guys lined up, that just piqued my interest. I must have been about, maybe 4 years old at that time. And it's been an obsession ever since.
And you even turned it into, a passion now for, during the holiday season, you have your Star Wars movie event. That is correct. Sorry,
Goose. That's a Top Gun reference for all you people born, before 1990. We do some charity around Star Wars now. So in 2010, my wife Cindy got sick. She was pregnant at the time, and she came down with leukemia. Came down with leukemia like a cold. It was a disaster. But you know what? It was a blessing in disguise. And so in connection with her treatment, and we were at Baptist Health, South Florida, we got involved with the hospital. It's a great hospital system. Can't say enough about Baptist Health. And now, today, the hospital has what we call the Miami Cancer Institute, which is a premier cancer treatment facility. And I say premier, I mean worldwide. It's the only cancer treatment center that has every modality under one roof for treatment of acute and severe cancers. So, proton, photon, chemotherapy, you name it, it's all done here. So it's really become a destination for cancer treatment. And so a few years ago when Disney started cranking out new Star Wars movies, I was trying to figure out how could I see the movie with all my friends. Right? And so I ran into some lady at downtown Disney, coincidentally, who said to me that her husband had made her rent a whole theater for the movie. And I was like, can you do that? That's a great idea. And so we came up with this concept where maybe, through the business, we would rent the theater, we would absorb the cost of renting the theater, and then we'd turn around and we'd sell tickets to the event. It's a private screening, so no line, no waiting. We made some T-shirts, and we've done other fun things, raffles and prizes, and we have assigned seating and all these things. So on the night of these premieres, you come to the theater, you're supporting a good cause. All the proceeds go to Miami Cancer Institute. You get to watch the movie with a captive audience of friends, family, close acquaintances. We always have security at the door so that everybody can just enjoy the movie and not worry about all the madness we have going on. And it's become a great thing and a tradition. And I was happy to bring that over when I came. And now it's a Coral Gables Title and Escrow event. We're very proud of it. And for the next for episode 9, we'll be gearing up and ready to go. That's December 2019. 2019 will be our next event. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that was awesome. Great, Rich. Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, guys. We don't want to keep you any longer than that. This was just a little brief insight. We'll be doing some of these. We'll bring some of our own team members on so you can get to know us a little bit better. We're here to help all your real estate needs, and we're happy to have you tuned in and to have you learn a little bit more about us. So this is Rich Barber at Coral Gables Title and Escrow with TitleTalk. Thanks, Brent.
Thank you, Rich.
Thank you.